All right, well, welcome to the first, one and only CCI DAPcast. Thank you all for joining us. This is a dry run. My name is Fatih Agirtmis. I'm a 21-year-old, recent 21-year-old, senior here at UNC Charlotte. Just turned 21, it was really lit.
So official.
And I'm majoring in computer science, obviously, and doing a concentration in software systems and networks.
Stop clapping, they're not going to be able to hear you.
Alright, sounds good. No more clapping. And I have a minor in mathematics, and I'm excited. I've just accepted a job offer, so I'm going to be out of here in a few months.
Okay, hi, I'm Natalie. I'm a sophomore and a computer science major with a concentration in human-computer interaction. I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest on the team.
Yeah, you're the baby.
I'm the baby on the team, and my minor is cognitive science.
Cool.
Hi everyone, I'm Kat. I'm a double major, computer science and math. I'm also getting my master's in math finance. I'm concentrating in data science here. Oh, I think I mentioned I'm a senior.
I think you did, yeah.
I'm a senior, and I'm graduating in the spring.
You're like a super senior.
Oh, okay, because I have 5 years. Master's, I got a while to go.
Hey everyone, my name's Yasser. I am a computer science major, just in computing systems. I am 23 years old. I think I'm the oldest one in the group
Really
here.
geezer.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the DAPcast, is what we're going to call it. Dean's Ambassador Program. We're doing a little small podcast so we can share with college and just keep things interesting and get everyone involved around here. If you guys want to introduce just the Dean's Ambassadors and say what we do here at the college.
I mean, my role really has been, tracking student engagement and trying to be active in as many events that we do on campus, whether it's our events or other events that the college sponsors and hosts.
So I'll get started. I am actually the head of the engagement team, so basically I tell these guys what to do. So our goal of engagement is within the CCIs to get students to connect with each other. So whether that's either networking or making friends, or at the end of the month we're having a pumpkin carving. Just social to get together, just meet new people within our college. And as Fatih said, he's head of SERP, Yasser plans activities, Natalie plans our coffee hour events, then I'll have them talk more about what they do.
Yeah, so I'm in charge of coffee hours, so basically I just come up with different events to do during coffee hours. There's free coffee, it's really chill, everyone just comes and talks. Usually we do either professor talks or different professors come and talk about computer science, about random things, kind of just a chill discussion, or kind of different activities. Sometimes we have game days, sometimes we'll do like resume workshops, or we'll do activities centered around a holiday.
Yeah. I'm a self-proclaimed funtivity director. Last semester we did a field day, which isn't related to computer science at all, but I know at the end of exams, at the end of testing, we all want to relax a little bit. So my goal as being in this role is just trying to get everyone involved outside of the college. Of course, while we have, during the semester, I try to help the guys along with the events that we hold weekly or a bi-weekly basis. But really, we should just try to get everyone involved and try to have a good time all the time.
Yeah, so I know we've got like a list. Again, this is just the beta version of our first podcast. We're going to see how this is going to go. Definitely going to invite people out to this, whether they want to sit in or have people to talk to. There's a lot of interesting people in the college. There's also a lot of interesting topics that I feel like we haven't expressed in computer science. So definitely the first run, but you want to dive in?
Yeah, so when it came about the podcast idea, we were thinking about different ways to get engagement in the college. And the easiest way is to make something and produce it and send it out to everyone. That's the easy way to get most eyes on it, as part to have one specific date where we can have some people come in, as opposed to make something and spread it out, whether it's by online, social media, or email, or even through the UNCC website. We can get more eyes to see what we do and to get more involved. I know as far as the podcast goes, it's just something that we want to be more inclusive with everyone.
Yeah, so this is our main kickoff event, and we're excited to hit the ball rolling and get it going throughout the rest of the semester.
Yeah, pretty good. We're going to have some current events. We're going to have some current events in the college, worldwide, within the United States. It depends on what's going on. We're going to have some activities coming up in the podcast. We're going to do maybe a pie eating contest. I don't know. We'll do something
Yeah.
Just throw a pie in his
Yeah.
face.
Was that one game where
Oh, the pie game. I know what
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about with the whipped
The
cream.
whipped cream.
Oh, and
Yeah.
you can go around in a circle.
we'll just have a little fun time. But we're just gonna do some current events right now. Do you guys have anything in mind going around in the world right now?
Well, so this is a little bit controversial, and I don't want to.
Oh, no.
So our good friend Yasser, head of the fun part of engagement, he also works for the company they call Apple.
Yeah.
And recently, Apple is under a lot of scrutiny about the what do you call it? The Wisdom Bar. What bar is it that they fix stuff? What is it called?
Genius Bar.
Genius Bar.
Bar.
The Wisdom Bar.
What are you talking
All I
about?
remember was it's like a nucleus or some type of wisdom. I can't remember
Nucleus.
whatever it is. It's the
You're not
Genius Bar.
wrong. You're not
Yeah,
wrong.
and
It's like Jimmy Neutron.
yeah, it's something. Well, they're under scrutiny, not them specifically, but Apple as a company is in this, I think, really important debate of the right to fix, like, there are third-party companies that fix computers and phones, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them have taken that step further. In fact, they're releasing the schematics of how you can fix it yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing it online. They're trying to release the schematics and a kit to fix it yourself. Apple's saying that that's infringing on the right of their property. That stuff is sensitive data. So there's a big fight between, whether it's like copyright to, if you rebuild it, are you infringing on Apple's property, or are you allowed to do something like that? I don't know if you heard anything about it.
A little bit,
Recently,
yeah.
they've gotten into a few fights. I don't know. I think that'd be interesting.
What worries me is safety. As far as you're fixing your own stuff,
Right.
there's static shock everywhere on you. Little electrostatic shocks affecting a motherboard is gonna fry some component. So after you repair your phone, the screen might be working, but what about the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth? That was working beforehand, right?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is Apple is going for components that aren't necessarily up to standard. So if you repair a phone with a different screen, what's to say something else is going to fail? That's what they're going after for.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is Apple, they first of all, they have the best, I think, build quality in the business. I would have, just from an opinion sake, but I think you can easily argue that. I think they engineer things obviously very advancedly. So if, for instance, they release a schematic or some type of way to fix a computer and somebody gets hurt, who's liable? Right? Like, if is that on Apple's end because they got hurt from an Apple product, or a supposedly redesigned Apple product, that's probably another area that could be concerned for Apple. Are they going to be liable for any type of damage like that? Also, like, it's over-engineered, and if you fix one part, will it break another part?
Right.
If that makes sense. But, yeah.
And stuff, every company has their own different regulations and rules on how they want to run stuff. But the biggest thing is take a car, for instance. If you put your own third-party parts in there and it stops working, are you going to blame the car
company,
manufacturer for what you did to the car,
I'm curious, you work at Apple, what do you think of the new XS?
I like it. I have and it's the 10. It's not
is that what you're
XS.
calling it?
It's not XS, it's 10S. Okay.
The tennis, okay.
I personally like it. It's got a better processor. It's got a better camera. I have the 10 myself right now. I just don't have the funds to
Is it worth the upgrade from like a 10?
if you're already upgrade, yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
going from a 6.
Yeah,
So
like
this
obviously
is
that's.
line date to me.
My thing is, I wouldn't expect you to know this. I'm just waiting for Apple to release USB-C, like instead of Lightning.
as a
I am waiting for that because the Pixel has it, which I can't believe the Pixel copied the notch because they gave Apple crap about the notch. Now they put the notch in. I know that's aggravating some Pixel fans because you're like, you talk crap about Apple and then you're doing the exact same. And then I think Razer also just released. Like, it seems like they're trying to capture the hype.
Yeah.
So Apple does it, and Google quickly does it. Now Razer's doing, like, everybody seems to
Have you guys ever heard of the company Huawei?
Yeah, it's the Chinese company,
Yeah,
right?
it's a Chinese electronics manufacturer, and they like to copy the styles of
Apple.
everything.
I
Yeah.
feel like I'm out of the loop here.
So
Yeah, I
They-
know.
they-
I don't know anything.
They don't do as good of a job, but it's like I've seen one of their computer. It doesn't look terrible. It's basically like a cheaper version of
Yeah.
popular products.
and they also copy the store. So if you've been to an Apple store, you know it's all sleek and stainless steel and glass. If you go to China, all the Huawei stores, they look exactly the
Do
same.
you
as
run
Apple
into
stores.
copyright pen issues with that?
You can, but
I think
I'm sure
they-
there's some.
No, I think they go like as they tread as carefully as
Yeah,
possible around
that's
it,
it.
basically. Yeah, and I think that's also the whole. I don't know if it's that case. We're moving to a different topic, but that's like the whole fight that the new administration in politics is doing, right? Because China is doing that with everything. So like every American product that's really popular here, there's some Chinese company
Yeah.
that does the exact same thing, like close to it, basically.
Yeah. And they're capitalizing on people that don't know any better, on the hype, like you said, of new products coming out, of popular products coming out. So
Yeah, and they also are getting caught like actually stealing intellectual property. So China is such a big market. You have over 1 billion people, and it's the world's fastest growing middle class. And they brought almost 500 million people out of poverty, so that's a lot of money. And there's a lot of rich Chinese millionaires. There's a lot of money in China, but they put a lot of exceptions to do business in China. It's not like here. So that's a whole argument. But
did you hear about the Tesla sales? They're getting
here
as
you go.
popular.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
as popular as BMW and luxury
Well,
cars.
you're the car guy.
Yeah.
Tesla has like they make good products, okay?
They
Like,
look good too.
but they look good, they make really good products. The problem is it's not just about making good products, it's about making profit and making sales.
Well, aren't they burning through cash?
They're
right
burning
now?
they've been burning through cash, I think, since their like inception.
Like R&D, right? It's all trying to develop new stuff.
Not yeah, well like so an example of this would be the lithium ion batteries they use are the best in terms of size and durability and range, basically. Your phones have that same battery. The problem is producing lithium ion batteries, it takes a lot of work, and before Tesla built their gigafactory, they would have to import a lot of that or get it from a lot of different sources. So they invested a ton of money in that gigafactory in Vegas. It's like one of the world's biggest buildings to manufacture them themselves. And they're trying to open a few more of those. So like the automotive industry is one of the hardest industries to get into, period, number one. And they're going up against giants. I mean, these people have been in business for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
They have like a huge
Ford,
GMC, all these companies have a huge budget. They have all this infrastructure in place. People think that a lot of the cars are being built here. They're not. Most of them, the parts are coming from all around the world and being built somewhere else. So Tesla had to start as a technology company and compete with those guys, basically, and deliver cars that are more advanced. There's a lot of software. Tesla hires more programmers than they do like engineers almost.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe
and
it.
they, I mean, they're hiring a lot. I looked. One of the things that's really cool, they use C-based languages like C and C++ because they are the most efficient and quickest, and they use those to develop what do you call it? The autopilot system. So they do a lot of cool components when it comes to software. So they're doing all these things. You have to hire the best developers. You have to hire the best engineers. You have to build all the products in the United States. They hire just from the United States. So there's a lot of money involved.
I'm curious, in your opinion, who do you think's gonna win the self-driving car battle, Tesla or Google?
I think Tesla will. I think Tesla's already, so there are 5 stages of self-driving cars. Tesla's at stage 3. 5 is like fully autonomous, like to the point where the car can just go on its
So I
own.
think the problem you have with the self-driving cars is you have to teach it ethics.
Yeah.
So we learned this in machine learning a little bit. Say you have a biker and you have a car that's steering off that cuts in front of you. Do you swerve and do you hit the biker or do you hit the guy running?
Not just ethic, there's a lot of statistics that are involved in terms of calculations, and on top of that, there's the big thing is it always has to learn, right? Because human driving, like human speech, is not static. It's very dynamic and it always changes.
Is it really going to be level 5 unless all cars are autonomous?
Oh,
I don't think they can. I don't think they can ever release level 5. I think they can get to the tech and the capabilities, but I think until self-driving cars, and really electric cars and self-driving cars kind of go hand in hand, almost. So until that goes mainstream, I don't think we'll get there or it will be released. The problem that Tesla has is here's the bigger problem. They've done the best job. They have the infrastructure in place. They've been the most successful. But now Porsche, now BMW, now Volvo is planning to release all EV cars, and then from there an electric add the autonomous feature. Those car companies are starting to get into the market. And Tesla makes really, really good cars. They make really smart cars, intelligent cars. But what they are lacking, in my opinion, is quality, like genuine material quality. And those other car companies like Porsche and BMW are good at that. So once they start to get in the market, it's going to get even harder. So the future projections for Tesla is not that great. The other thing, they're having build quality issues. So not to get too off on a tangent, but the Tesla 3 is Tesla's really big baby. If this doesn't go right, I think Tesla can fail.
Have you been inside a Tesla?
Yeah, I've driven one too.
I've been, when the doors fold up, I've sat in one, I've never driven it.
It's definitely a different experience to drive an electric car.
I've looked at the inside of one, it looks like a spaceship.
Yeah, it does.
The look and the look and the screen and the dash and all that is top notch. In terms of, it's just the material and build quality lasting over time becomes an issue. The other thing is you have to remember the whole car is electric, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of quality issues. The door has to pop out for you to grab it. Is electric. It's an electric system to pop out for you. If that breaks, you can't get in your car. If you pop a tire, you can't raise the car because the battery is underneath the car. So Tesla is the only company that will take your car and fix it. Luckily, they've been really good on that. But again, they have to manage all their repairs. Okay, they have to build the car, sell the car on their own. And the other thing, I don't know if you guys know this, the dealership industry in the United States is heavily regulated and it's like a mafia almost. They are like, a couple of states have banned, North Carolina is one of them, has almost banned Tesla from selling cars. Texas is the big one, they don't allow Tesla.
Well, they're still trying to rake in the oil money. Oil
right.
And
you can order a Tesla online, but they won't allow Tesla to have stores there to protect, because Tesla doesn't need salesmen. It's a difference.
Would you say Tesla's in a monopoly right now? Before Porsche, BMW, those guys get into electric?
I mean, Ford or Chevy hasn't a fully electric car. Nissan does. I don't think they're a monopoly. The technology exists, but they own most of that market share because that's all they do and they do it the best.
Yeah.
It's just that when all these other car companies get in, it's just going to get a lot harder for them.
So would you get a Tesla now? If you had the money?
I'd say you should get it. It's fine to get. Because it's been 2012 is when they first released the Model S, so it's been 6 years. The infrastructure is getting in place. It's gotten a lot better. I personally would wait a little bit longer. I would probably wait 10 more years before I buy an EV car. So my second car, I'll buy one more petrol car, gas car. From there, I'd upgrade to electric, so that way the infrastructure gets in more and the parts become cheaper.
Because what do you think of hybrids?
Hybrids are. So when it comes to cars, hybrids are good if you're buying Japanese. Japanese make the most reliable cars. The problem with hybrids is you want to buy them new because hybrid batteries last only about 100,000 miles, and those systems cost $5,000-$6,000 to replace. They're expensive to replace, and they also are more complicated, and they're more expensive in general to buy. But they're good cars, and they're quiet cars. Buy Japanese in general.
Buy Toyota.
Japanese, in terms of electronic cars, everything, they make really good stuff. Koreans do too.
My thing is design. I like a cool looking car. I can't do a Prius.
No, I need it to be reliable. I need it to be reliable.
Reliability is a big thing. I like German cars too. They're stylish, good quality. It's just German and European is over-engineered. They over-engineer a lot of their cars. And like, I wouldn't, again, not to crap on Apple. I'm a big Apple fan, okay? I have a MacBook, I have have the Mac Mini.
What is that?
See, I got mad at Apple. I have a Mac Mini 2012, and I love that thing because I can upgrade almost anything except the processor.
You can data crunch in that.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM. I have the full SSD. You can get terabytes.
It's going off.
And I love it. It's in this little tiny computer. It's great.
Get your own 4K monitor on there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Apple was like, all right, guys, we're gonna saw everything onto the motherboard. We're gonna put everything on the motherboard, and you have to buy whatever RAM you need, whatever space you need. You got to buy it from us. And I was like, dude, you don't need to saw it on there. But anyways, that's some of the stuff that Germans do. So, and German car companies. I love German people. German people are great. I've been there. I love Germany. I love Oktoberfest. Germany's great. They put specific bolts on their wheels that only Mercedes or BMW or German car companies have the tools to remove them, so no other dealership or you cannot remove them and stuff like that. When I buy something, I want to be able to also own it, if that makes sense. They do stuff like that, but yeah.
Would you say, well, there's obviously a difference between luxury cars. Is there a difference between luxury electronics?
There's a huge difference. The thing is, in my opinion, there's not a difference in business practice.
Yeah.
You know, as a business, you make those calls like that. And Apple, and historically, especially Steve Wozniak, one of the founding engineers of Apple, who really originally wrote the operating system, and one of my favorite guys. He was all about giving the power to developers and individuals and allow them to. Apple makes some of the best products in the business. So not only to make some of the best products in the business, he was allowing them to really build on it and add their own thing to it. Jobs was a great visionary and a really great businessman, but he wanted everything in Apple to stay in-house, and he wanted to make sure that they built it as best as possible, and they give their customers a quality product, but a lot of times the customer would have access to it, which wouldn't really necessarily be a problem because Apples are notorious for lasting a long time.
Yeah.
But they're just two different ideologies. Like
with Jobs, from my understanding, him and Wozniak butted heads because Jobs didn't want to release the product unless the look and the feel were both there.
You see, Jobs cared a lot about like, the quality, the tangible. Like it can be the best product ever. But if it's too big or too small, he'll let you know and he'll make you go back to the drawing board. And a lot of companies don't have that. There's a lot of companies that will make even better products than Apple, but they just don't have that visionary or that somebody to tell them.
They're the Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
It's funny that you bring up the wallets because I had a phone the other day on the back. The guy was like, yeah, Steve Wozniak signed this. I really hope you don't mess up my phone. I was like,
yeah.
Here's your phone back.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
Turn to the Apple guy.
Yeah.
That's the same guy.
What? No, I'm saying he works at Apple. I'm giving him grief.
I thought. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool stuff. I didn't realize, but the key to a Tesla is your phone. It's an app.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Really?
You don't get a key.
See, I don't know if I can make the switch to like electric cars. Like, as reliable as they are, like my car is so reliable. Like it has over 400,000 miles. Like is an electric car able to get that many miles?
You drive.
A Toyota Camry. It's a 98.
I've seen your car. That's a great car. My dad had a 2001 back in the day. I grew up with that. I went to soccer practice with that. So
yeah,
I like
like
that.
it's my baby. I don't know if I could switch.
It's a good car, but here's the thing about electric cars you got to think about. There are a lot of advantages to electric cars, and one of them is they're so simple. You have the battery, the transmission, a few other components. That's it. If you look at like an engine or a petrol car, there's so many different components. You got to change the oil. You got to do all this stuff. There's a lot that. So the simpler the system is, the more reliable in theory it is.
There was it was way back when Tesla was first starting to become a thing. You know how cars idle and you let go on the gas and it starts idling up? Tesla doesn't do that.
Because the torque's instant.
Yeah.
So you get, since it's electric, you get the power instant.
Yeah.
When a petrol car,
So a lot of people complained, and Tesla had to release an update that forced the car to idle by itself forward if you let off the gas.
And that makes sense because some people, if you've never driven an electric car or a Tesla, you won't know that feeling. It's crazy. You will be accelerating, and if you let off, the power goes completely. So that's a whole different driving experience for some people.
Okay, so what happens if your phone dies? You have to get into your car.
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a Tesla? If your phone dies, what happens? What happens?
Please let us know.
Yeah.
Man, I knew a 15-year-old with a Tesla. He had his.
What?
I know.
What?
Yeah.
Where are his parents are? Can his parents be my parents?
The whole family
There
has Teslas.
are people on here that have like Mercedes AMGs and BMWs and all that.
Well, let me ask you, because you're the car guy. If you right now had to buy a really nice BMW and a Tesla, what would you get?
Oh, that's a hard question. I'd probably go Tesla, but there's nothing like a nice sounding engine and a manual transmission.
Yeah.
That you can't. You see, Tesla also not only do they have that idling feature, they'll generate noise for
Ambience.
they'll actually if you need it, but there's just nothing like a naturally aspirated engine and a manual transmission, which is sad because they're slowly dying. So get one while you can.
Teslas?
No, manual transmissions.
yeah.
People are letting go of them. So
Yeah. There's no need for them now.
yeah.
Not for most people, anyways.
Yeah.
Most people just want to get them go.
Yeah. Also, the car companies have to maintain a whole nother product line, right? They have to start manufacturing manual transmissions. Some people just don't want to do that anymore.
Cool. What's your time at?
You're at 26 minutes.
26 minutes?
Talking
I
about
have to
cars.
take a call soon.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We do have some current events coming up in the college next week. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to release the edited version of the podcast here, but I do know ACMW is having a tech talk on the 15th. That should be Monday. Look at the website, UNCC, and I'll let you know the date and time for that. There's also a showcase of IT careers and opportunities on Wednesday. I think the business partners are Lynn, maybe?
Yeah.
Lynn probably
Yeah.
was doing it.
Again, it's on the website if you want to take a look at it. I think a lot of companies are going to come in and just talk about all the careers they have and all the opportunities that CCI can bridge together with them. Thanks for joining us for the first DAPcast.
Now, also, end of the month, Halloween, we are having pumpkin painting.
Woo!
So come on out. It's going to be all over social media. Going to be in front of the Eagle and just make pumpkins.
How big are the pumpkins?
They're like the baby
Yeah, the tiny
pumpkins. You're gonna
pumpkins.
paint the baby. You will have googly eyes and paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, please, if you have any questions, let us know. Also, if you have feedback, that'd be great. Again,
If you have any topic ideas, that would be good.
topic
Leave it
ideas
in
are
the
great. If you want to
comments.
come on the show, that's great. If you
Let
want
us
to
know.
watch the show, you just let us know. Please let us know how we did, and also come out to our events. We'll be there too,
Yeah.
and we're super cool. So
Hopefully, wherever we post this, we're also going to put the links to our personal Dean's Ambassador website, our Instagram pages, our Facebook pages. That way you get connected and you know what events we got coming up for the college. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Go Niners!
Go Niners homecoming.
Yeah, there we go.
See y'all tomorrow.